Introducing NextGenXV, the new home of school rugby.
Well, where does this come from?
Covering everything the school game has to offer in both the north and southern hemispheres.
Oh, that's a great tackle! It's not good enough! 1-2, skip a few and with the wheels!
Highlighting tomorrow's stars, NextGen15 will be bringing you live games and a regular update of all the news and in-depth views on the global game.
What a kick!
Where did he come from and how did that happen?
All your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGen15.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to National League Rugby Live. And we're here tonight at Old Bath Road as Chinnor come to Rams. Now, it's going to be a full-blooded National One clash, and I'm joined with two men who, well, I think they are certainly supporting one side more than the other tonight, and that is former Premiership referee Ashley Rowden, and of course, Rams fly half, who is unavailable for selection tonight, Alex Sears. Gentlemen, how are you both? You good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. From a refereeing point of view, evening matches brings a certain sort of challenge, shadows on the pitch, but evening games are always good atmosphere.
Now, both these men are going to be bringing you their analysis across the 80 minutes. They're going to be in the box there with Jack Zorab, and they're going to just take you through, bring us their bits of wisdom as this kind of, it's a derby that you two both, from our conversations leading up to this game, absolutely adore. Now, Ash, I'm going to ask you first. What exactly does this game mean to everyone involved with Rams and, of course, Chinnor on the other side of things?
I think we've had some great games over the last 10 seasons, nail-biters that have gone down to the last minute. But I think any local derby, league position and form goes out the window totally. And it's just who will want it the most tonight when it gets really down to the nitty-gritty. So while Chinnor might have only won 6 and we've won 14 or 15, that I think will count for nothing.
Yeah, of course. Alex, you must have some pretty special memories of these sorts of games because it's your bread and butter, isn't it, really?
Yeah, local derby like this doesn't come about very often, as cliche as that sounds, but I've been here for 5 seasons now, played in 3 or 4 of these games when we played evenings, and they're great fixtures. a lot sort of more competitive as people would realise in these kind of fixtures. So hopefully tonight will bring the same kind of thing.
Yeah, and now as Ash mentioned, form does sort of go out the window, but as the host I am sort of obliged to talk about form. Now obviously as things stand, Rams are league leaders by virtue of a win over Darlington Mowden Park last week, all the way up in the northeast. And conversely, contrastly kind of to this time last year when we were doing the same fixture, Chinnor aren't exactly kind of in the race as they once were. They're ninth, enjoying a bit of a bounce under a new head coach. Does that change the complexion of this game at all? Because, Chinnor 3 of the last 4, and that doesn't really seem to matter all that much.
Honestly, I don't think it does. These games are always incredibly competitive. Both teams raise the standards when we play each other. Just because of league position, yes, potentially Rams have a little bit more to lose tonight than potentially Chinnor, but end of the day, it's a game of rugby. You've got to win tonight and take it to the next week. So, I don't think it changes much tonight, to be honest.
Okay, let's get right into team news, and we'll start with the host first. Now, there has been a little bit of a shuffle up front, so I'm going to have to refer to my trusty kind of notepad here, electronic notepad, should we say?
We'll point you out when you go wrong.
Yeah, please do. So obviously, Niall Kidd comes in as a late front row change, and then Max Heyman and James Baker complete the front row. Ollie Taylor and Dan Swain are at lock. Zach Clow makes his debut on the wing for Rams and comes in as one of what is now 8 changes for Seb Reynolds' side after that win last weekend. Henry Bird is named at fullback, and Axel Calling-Smith switches wing following his double in the northeast. Ellis Jones is back from injury to partner Connor Hayhow, while Ollie Cole and Will Partington operate at halfback. The final change sees Josh Collins come into the back row, where Vince Everett and Robbie Stapley also start. Of course, Robbie taking all the headlines last year when he kind of got man of the match in this.
Got a hat-trick, didn't he?
He got a hat-trick.
And had a baby born 24 hours earlier as well.
Well, there you go.
Doesn't get any better, does it?
Yeah, but a lot to live up to tonight. Now, it's a strong bench for Rams, of course, where last week's man of the match, Ollie Allen, is. And then Ollie Moffat, Paul Engelos, Connor Stapley and Ollie Monnier are also there. Now, I believe, if I can find him over there, Chris Hill is with Director of Rugby for Rams, Seb Reynolds.
Coming back, we'll just do a little bit about our Seb. He might be talking, I can't hear, for the second team, and that's like...
So we're gonna talk a bit more about the game and the team. Now, Ash, obviously you know this team as well as anyone. What are your sort of main thoughts about tonight and everything that's kind of going to go into this game?
Well, we've had a lot of changes, as you say, from last week. Some enforced by injury, some by selection. I think as a club, we've always believed in having a strong second 15, the Titans, and it gives a chance for those players who've been playing really well to show if they can cut the mustard at National 1. There's a lot of those players you've mentioned have got a lot of experience already playing at level 3, so they won't be totally out of their depth. But obviously, it's, as Alex will tell you, changing 8 is not brilliant, but the players all train together, they all know the system, so hopefully it won't have too much of an impact on how we play. Obviously, if this man by the side of me was playing, we play more like a Maserati when he plays. Without him, we're a little bit like a Rolls Royce. But, we were sublime against Darlington Mowden Park for 20 minutes, and we blew them away with the greatest respect to Darlington Mowden Park. And the week before Cambridge, we're 12 points down, 14 points down with 15 minutes to go, and we scored 21 points in the last 14 minutes. So, we have a lot of interchanging. And let's be honest, even at level 3, it's hard work for some of these guys. They train twice a week and putting in big performances week in, week out. So it's an interesting game in our selection because there are people coming in, but also people coming back on form as well who've been injured for a long time.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, you mentioned there the sort of the one club mantra that's kind of helped the club all the way up through the leagues as well. Zach's obviously got a phenomenal record for the Titans. It must be brilliant for you guys to be able to, Alex, obviously, as someone who is a first teamer here, it must be brilliant for you to be able to call upon someone, who is in red hot form for the Titans side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's good to be able to give Zach opportunity tonight. I think he's definitely deserved his shot given his performance in the Titans. So really excited to see what he can do and how he can operate tonight in the ones in National 1. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Of course. Now, we are also going to look at the opposition tonight because it's only fair to do so. They also have had to make a late change. That is because Jason Worrell is now unavailable, with Grant Hughes moving to outside centre, while Will Blakemore gets a starting slot in the 12 shirt. Josh Hodson is taking that spare slot on the bench. That means there are now 4 changes to Nick Easter's side that beat Bishop Stortford last weekend. All of Reece Marshall, Morgan Eames and Grant Hughes are in the starting side, while Keston Lyons and Elliot Miller-Mills are the starting props. Of course, Elliot Miller-Mills not too far removed from some time with Bath after he left Wasps. James Downs partners Eames at lock, while Ben Manning, Max Heathman and Willie Ryan are the back row. Luke Carter and Will Feeney continue at halfback, while the back three is comprised of Dean Hammond, Kieran Goss and Nick Smith. The vastly experienced Greg Goodfellow is also on the bench, as are Charlie Robinson, Josh McNulty and Alfie North. Now, we sort of mentioned before, they've had a bit of a kind of difficult season. It's quite difficult to exactly put your finger on why, but under Nick Easter, a la sort of Sean Dyche with Everton at the weekend, picked up a good bit of form, and, they actually, the tide seems to have turned.
Alex will probably answer this better than I can because I never played, but I think if you look at any sport, you change a coach, there is to quote Ian Holloway, the bounce back ability. And I think obviously if you look at the team that Chinnor have got and the players they've got signed, and you look at their league position, you would say that doesn't really stack up. They've got some really, really good players. Their back row, you've just gone through, that's strong. Jason Worrell, quality player, and obviously a late withdrawal, so I'd be a liar if I didn't say that there's a slight smile on my face, because he was someone who we picked out as a danger person. But their back three is also strong, and Kieran Goss has been at their club for ages and he scores tries for fun. So you would say that we would look at the start of the season, not winning games, thinking something's not quite right there. But Nick's come along. For the people I know there, he's just gotten to maybe go back to basics and simple, easy stuff, which in the amount of time coaches get at this level, that's probably the best thing to do. So I'm not surprised they've started winning a few games, but maybe we'll find out tonight just how far they've come.
Yeah, of course. And now I believe Chris Hill does have that pre-match interview.
Thanks very much, Joe. And as you can see, I am with Rams CEO Gary Reynolds. Nights like these, Gary, the ones to savour, aren't they?
Yeah, fantastic, Chris. I mean, we've got the weather, so the pitch is in good nick, it's not frozen off this time, and full marks for Chinnor to getting these Friday night lights games going, which is fantastic. Crowd are quite buzzy, a lot of them in the bar still, so good takings for the club, but yeah, great evening. I
was going to say the atmosphere here, I mean, I arrived at kind of 5 p.m. this afternoon and you could feel it, kind of the excitement building, but so many people here. We've got the Mini and Juniors with the flags behind us. It just brings National League rugby to life, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you've had a game between sort of the some Chinnor juniors and our juniors, both clubs very same, big community efforts, large youth sections. You know, we keep rugby going when the state schools are struggling to keep it going. Any game under lights is exciting, but when it's your local rivals, it's even better. And these games between us and Chinnor have been so exciting over the past few years. So hopefully it's going to be a corker for everybody tonight.
Shall we have a little walk, Gary, to your vantage point, if you don't mind? Come on, Tyler, let's go with us. Let's talk about Rams then, Gary. Obviously, top of the table going into this one. Can you kind of sum up the last 2 weeks for us? Because you got that massive win over Cambridge and backed it up really well against Darlington, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we felt we had a little loss of form with the two losses consecutively against Sale and Cinderford. And I think a lot of people started to write us off. Not many people thought we'd go and win at Cambridge. And let's be fair, Cambridge are the, before we went there with the informed side, Richie Williams does a fantastic job coaching there. So they, again, are very similar to us, and I have massive respect for them. But our boys, to be 24-5 down just into the second half, and to come back like that, and Henry Bird launching himself down our left wing to score the winning try was electric. And actually, fair play to, rugby was at its very best. Two sides battling it out to the bitter end. Great contest. Cambridge boys couldn't have been nicer. They were gutted, and nor could the Cambridge crowd or the coaching staff. So it was a great spectacle, and I think National One Rugby has so much to offer, and it's so cheap to come and get great entertainment. You get it live. Fantastic.
Well, I can hear the stadium announcer now, Gary. We'll let you take your seat right up in the gantry. Enjoy tonight.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Right, guys, back over to you and over to our commentator, Jack Zorab.
Thank you very much, Chris, and thank you, Joe. We are set and ready to go. The atmosphere has been building since 5 p.m. The minis and juniors have done their thing, and we are left with the big dance. Rams against Chinnor in National 1 tonight, but a fixture which goes back through the leagues to National 2, to National 3. Over the last 15 years, it's been the visitors, Chinnor, that have had the better run of this head-to-head. But in the last seasons particularly, Rams have taken over, winning 4 of the last 5, and they are top of National 1 tonight, and looking to accelerate that surge towards the championship sail. Overtaken after a good win last weekend, after a sensational win the weekend before that. I'm joined by Alex Sears and Ashley Rowden. We've just seen you pitchside, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us here. Alex, Rams playing some good stuff at the moment. It's a shame we can't see you tonight, but it must have been a good club, a good team to be a part of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Excited to see the boys play tonight. So, yeah, hopefully we can back up last week's performance through to this week.
Well, Ashley, as a former Premiership referee, you're going to be here to keep us all as straight down the line as we can.
Am I meant to be impartial?
Only slightly Rams.
Impartial?
You don't have to be so impartial, but we'll
I'll support the referee. I will support the referee.
Okay. We'll do justice to the referee, to Chinnor, and here we go. Kicking off under lights, the Friday night show, the National League Rugby Live, the start of another big weekend in English rugby's third tier, and Rams, the league leaders, capable of starting like a freight train, capable of coming back after a slow start as well, if the last couple of games are anything to go by. But selection issues this week for Seb Reynolds. 7 players he would have liked to call on out, injured or unavailable, the likes of Jack Rossiter not able to take his part. Alex Sears alongside me, of course. Will Partington gets a run at number 10, just straying offside. Will Partington in the white sleeves, he gets back onside as Chinnor, putting a chip in behind the scrum half for the visitors. Luke Carter tonight, a man of standing across these leagues, knows his way around a thing or two about away night victories on a Friday night. Here we go, Chinnor cutting up the line with their right winger, Kieran Goss, as try scorer last weekend. Goss, first run of this weekend, and there's Carter putting it on a plate for his number 10, Will Feeney. And Carter goes back to the right-hand side, looking to keep this tempo high. It's a good start from the visitors. There's Feeney, and nice hands until reaching Nick Smith, and that not quite going to hand, and Rams having to put their shoulder to the wheel in defence, Alex, early on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think just very evident what Chinnor can offer there, playing with pace and trying to go out the back of some of their forward pods through the midfield. So relatively decent first upset defensively from us. So looking forward.
Well, I got out of jail there. Knock on, not in the tackle. We'll take a scrum.
What happened to the impartiality, Ashley? Yeah, that's been dispensed with from Colin White.
Well, I just thought also from a refereeing point of view, the bench will often tell you that I'm too honest when they call out things. And I see it from referee's point of view. I think that if that wasn't in the tackle, that if we'd had a penalty against us, maybe we couldn't have complained.
The upshot, Chinnor with the scrum. Back row for Rams as well, not able to field James McRae tonight, so Josh Collis is in the 6 jersey along with Vince Everett.
This side, head
of course completed by Robbie Stapley at number 8, the captain, and former hat-trick man in this fixture last season. Robbie Stapley as Rams completely outplayed Chinnor, and I'm sure those of you tuning in around the world, wherever you are tonight, will be remembering that one. It was our first live show from Rams, and we had viewers from all over, every continent covered.
No.
So penalty Chinnor from that scrum, and Ashley, talk us through what the decision-making process was there.
Well, for me, the Chinnor loose head prop hinged as the pressure came on, and if he hinges and goes to ground, blue tight head has to go to ground with him. So
Chinnor's fly half, Will Feeney puts his left boot through it and makes some decent yardage there. The Australian fly half Feeney, someone, Alex, would you have played against him earlier this season? What's your knowledge of Chinnor's number 10 like?
Actually, no, I wasn't able to. I don't think Will was actually with Chinnor when we played before Christmas, so my knowledge is relatively little for Will at the moment, but in some of the games they've been playing recently, he's been running the show really well, so he'll be a dangerous one for us to look out for tonight.
Good line out off the top from Chinnor with Manning and into the arms of Reece Marshall up to the 5-metre line. Elliot Miller-Mills, just his third appearance for Chinnor tonight, making headway, and Chinnor up to the line, getting the first score of the night. Rams stunned at Old Bath Road. It has been all Chinnor in the early exchanges. Let's talk about the line out off the top, Ashley, and how that set them up well for the next phase.
Well, obviously that gave them really good field position. They've gone off the back, as a lot of teams will do, and that just opens up the whole pitch, allows them sort of like a blind side, which they actually didn't need to use in the end. So we were just struggling to probably get round the corner there as quickly as we wanted to.
I think just that's a fairly evidential way that Chinnor are looking to play this evening. High tempo going off the top. A lot of teams in that position on the pitch would probably look to catch and drive, but you can see a slight point of difference compared to what we would expect.
You know, just going back to the earlier penalty scrum, that's how important it is to get penalties right, because if that had gone Blues' way, Rams, we'd be attacking. So they get a penalty and they go straight to the corner. I think Ian probably got that wrong, but people say I'm biased because it's our tight head.
James Down, the try scorer for Chinnor, and 7 points to the good go the visitors. Clearing their lines and exiting smartly too. Rams will have their first field possession here inside Chinnor's half. Max Heyman with the throw-in, confers with Niall Kidd, and then here go Chinnor safely into welcome hands. James Baker at the back of the maul, and then picked and gone from Ollie Cole. Slipped on nicely from Hayhow. There's Cole again. Partington jinks and then goes back on himself. Keeps it alive, Will Partington. Dan Swain now.
Still got a penalty advantage from 5 across the line.
And Rams firing their first shot of the night with Niall Kidd. Late change to the starting 15. That switched back to Cole. Penalty was coming, and some smart footwork from Will Partington, and that's the threat of Partington, Alex.
You're 5 jumping across.
No, absolutely. I think just before that, it's a lovely little slip pass from Connor Hayhow. We're really looking to spread the width from 9, looking to try and cut some of the defenders out, and that was very evident from Connor there.
Chinnor jumped across in the line out there, number 5, ruined our setup on the maul, which is why they come back for the penalty.
Straight up and down then, Gold. Straight up and down.
Possession closer to Chinnor's line now, and the order's the same for Heyman. He finds his man, and Rams reconvene.
7-side entry.
Another advantage. Chinnor coming in at the sides. Cole wants it to stay with the forwards.
And a collapse as well.
Chinnor looking to strike back immediately after. Rams getting on the ball and getting over the line.
So
First strike to Chinnor, second to Rams, and that was a deft touch in behind.
Okay, so you've got your 7-side entry this side, 4 the
Lovely
far
little
side,
touch
and a clap
from Ollie
right.
Cole there,
Discipline
with the
ball
advantage
position.
from the line-out.
Cole at the back, and things just opened up. It was good vision to spot the space in behind theirs. Cole with the dink.
You had 2 side entries against him.
I'm biased, but that is nice.
10.
That is
10,
very
snuck in there.
silky.
Thank you.
Let's get another close-up shot of this link-up play here. There's Cole, and just put through.
As you can see, Chinnor looking to really put line speed through to Connor and Ellis in the centres there. So Ollie seeing that quite early, nicely putting it through on the floor where there was no covering behind. So that was a really nice vision, as you say.
So that is not James Down, it's Ellis Jones. Returning from injury tonight, the outside centre. Partnering with Hayho, who impressed so much last weekend at Darlington Arena on the score sheet then himself, and it's his returning centre partner who has Rams' first score. 7-all, we're tied up, and the derby with both teams settling in. And Cole, a creator, in the side ahead of Ollie Allen, who shows just what he's about last week, the youngster in the starting lineup. He's on bench duty tonight, but a good start for Cole. And here's Carter. Little shape on the inside, the interception from the try scorer. He gets the ball away to Calling Smith. And Axel Calling Smith has the cleanest pair of heels going. It's 2 in quick succession. Well, they took a couple of minutes to get going, but Rams now hitting their stride. And Calling Smith on the score sheet again.
Alex can talk us through that one.
I think the big thing there, Ellis and Connor really getting the eye line of the first receiver there from Chinnor. When you're in that position as a fly half and as a first receiver, as I am in a lot of situations, seeing boys in the eye line from a defensive perspective really puts doubt into where you're looking to pass. You could see that as he's making the pass. Ellis, really good read, and Axel chasing through and supporting as he's done so well all season.
He's unbelievably strong, Axel. So that was sort of like not a foregone conclusion, but I was not surprised to see him hand off the tackler.
No Jack Roster in the side tonight. Calling Smith in that number 14 jersey. Switching from the left wing after scoring a brace last week. And on the score sheet again here. So Chinnor get us back underway, and that just goes the 10. Tapped back, and maybe Rams ball again. Here's Hayho. Knock on from Rams. A break for Chinnor.
Up and out, please, 3, okay? Keep that head up, shoulder out.
First pause for breath in the match after a fast start for both teams. Carter waits.
Bind! Set!
And Chinnor's scrum is good. Carter flies it across to Feeney, and then they go along the line looking for width, and then up from full back. But the play was read nicely, and off and running a Rams again with Zach Clough on his debut for the club after impressing for the Titans in recent times. He's got a debut start in the left wing jersey. Here's Partington. Cole. Impetus given to this Rams foray forward. Here's the captain, Stapley. Going through the middle, Niall Kidd. And then picking and going, Dan Swain. And this is composed and authoritative from the league leaders now. Kidd again. Putting his head down is Collis. It's the red scrum hat you have to watch out for tonight, as opposed to James McRae's blue scrum hat, and Collis getting through a truckload of work. Here's Cole again, stepping the scrum half. In centre field are Rams. And with the penalty coming, and they are now stamping their authority all over this first period. Yellow card to Chinnor. And Alex, since that early start, you must be thinking, and I imagine Seb Reynolds upstairs is also thinking, that things starting to settle down now for Rams.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we've settled into the game quite nicely so far. Good thinking there from Ollie Cole to exploit a quick penalty. You can see Chinnor not retreating very quickly, so he's taken the chance to gain us an extra 10 metres and a yellow card there in the end for no real trying to roll away at the tackle.
Chinnor down to 14 Rams, blaring their nostrils again. And here come the pack, keeping it high, keeping the feet pumping. Cole is waiting. Calling Smith comes around to this side, but Rams peel through. And Chinnor struggling to contain the hosts now. Cole, quick hands off the floor. Hayhow was in support. Stapley again. Peeling round goes Collis. Partington is there. He'll need some help from some hefty mates. And now it comes. And Ollie Cole barking the orders. Now, Kidd again. And just 3 metres away go Rams, looking for a third, trying to make the extra man pay. Here comes Everett.
Hold there, gents.
Held short. Good defence from Chinnor. Stapley with no run-up. He makes a yard. And Rams have to recalculate. Cole keeps it short. Asks the forwards to do more work. Here's Everett with a closer range.
Hold, use the line, Gold, use the line.
And Chinnor cordoning off their try line. Trying to stop this Rams fast beginning from becoming an onslaught as Hayhow goes short. There's Cole again, he'll look for a second! And Ollie Cole darts through the gap, opened up by Hayhow. And Rams looking so sweet now.
Just have a word.
Ollie Cole's on fire at the moment. That's a great 15 minutes he's had.
Just let Benji know as well.
Well, he was patient. He was making sure that those around him were doing the hard work until the moment arose.
I think that sort of one of our, not problems or issues, but where we've been a little bit lax in the past is we get 5 yards out and we rush and force the play, and we weren't there. We just kept going and doing what we're really good at, and that then opened it up for Ollie as he saw there was no guards in place.
Partington. Make it 3 from 3 off the tee. But just pushing it to the right. So 19 points to 7. Things stay. Ollie Cole's second try.
I think we'll blame it on the cameraman being slightly too close at the run up there. But I think you could probably feel his breath as he's taking the kick there.
We'll check at the next stop. Going right or left? When you're ready then, 10.
Chinnor, get us back underway.
Okay, knock on, scrum advantage.
Calling Smith will do some tidying here. Comes out of his 22, high tackle. And Alex, after a good start like this, what type of, how will the play move on or change at all in Will Partington's mind? What types of things will he now be trying to do now that things have got off to a good start?
You know, I actually don't think we should be changing much. You know, I think we need to really capitalise on the fact that we are one man up. But without overplaying and without really trying to force the play. At times you need to respect the position on the pitch, and at times where we can really force the play. So it'd be good to see what we can do from here. It's a really nice carry there from Robbie off the top of the line-out. Hopefully we can find some shape here and exploit some width from Chinnor.
Cole on the ball again, Partington. Shape on the inside and then off to Baker. Tight head, propping up with a lick of a run up. Here's Clough. Partington with lots of time, and Hey How meeting the gain line. Partington goes in behind, it's charged down, but it's going to bounce kindly for Henry Bird. And Bird taken down on the 22. Penalty, Chinnor crossing. And that again might have bounced nicely for Rams, who were on 3 tries, we should say, after their beginning. Despite our graphics saying 2 tries, it will catch up with us eventually. Ashley, what's on your mind?
Well, I think we've come back really well after conceding the early 7. It's early days yet, but I'd suggest to say you can see which team is in form and at top of the table, and which team maybe is struggling to get a little bit of form. But it's a long way to go yet. But I think Seb would be really happy that we're 3 tries in and we've played only 19 minutes. And I think the forwards coach that upstairs, Owen Root, I think he'll be pleased with how the front 8 are going at the moment.
Chinnor under new management in recent times, of course, with Nick Easter now at the helm of the Oxfordshire club. And they are starting to turn things around. It has been a good start to the year for Chinnor, but not quite as in the stride that Rams are. Chinnor in 9th position coming into this match. Of course, Rams top of the table and looking to go more than 3 points clear of Sale. Use that extra game, make sure they don't have any slip-ups with Sale on 17 matches this season, and Rams one more than that, but they'll attack from here. Nice hands onto Bird, who cuts through. Henry Bird losing the left fend into Chinnor's half. Again go Rams. Cole spots space in behind, it'll bounce around. Nick Smith has to look lively here. He gathers, kicks, but under pressure it'll be more Rams ball in the 22. And Alex Sears, you're nodding your head enthusiastically next to me.
No, absolutely. Nice steal. Cart's nice little snipe down the blind side from Luke Carter. Nice turnover from us there with Zach. We exploited the space. Ollie kicked through behind, put the pressure on them, and it's a relatively poor exit from Chinnor under that pressure. So hopefully we can capitalise here.
The line out works again for Chinnor. Baker, or for Rams, excuse me. Here's Baker and here's Cole. Cole picks, and he's been given an armchair ride by his forwards at the moment. Hey How looks to establish the platform, but knocking on in the process of Rams.
You can see how in rugby referees play a massive part in the ebb and flow of the game. You know, I'm sure that was a knock on, but we've got a really good position. There's 2 minutes left on the bin, and we'd have been looking to exploit that there. And then coming back to a couple of earlier things, Ian gave a yellow against the Chinnor player, which I thought was maybe a tad harsh, but he wanted to set his marker. And then going back to the crossing, he's penalised Ellis Jones for obstruction when Ellis is actually behind our ball carrier. So I'm not quite sure how he got to that. But you take the rough and smooth. I say to everyone, referees don't decide matches unless they pull rabbits out of the hat with last-minute penalties. So you have to. That's the great thing about rugby. We've all got an opinion, and sort of like we don't always agree with the referee, but he's the man on the spot and he's closest, and you just play to him. That's quite a big call though, because this gives Chinnor a chance to relieve the pressure.
Voice of Ashley Rowden with us tonight in the gantry here at Rams, and We've got all corners covered with Alex Sears from Rams first team, Ashley covering across those technical points, particularly Ashley, that can cause so much confusion in a rugby match. And it's wonderful to have you with us. It's great to have you along wherever you're watching on from as well. And National One live tonight. And if you want to catch up with all the weekend's action, follow NextGen15, Talking Rugby Union, and National One channels to catch up on the Sunday night highlight show, rounding up the weekend's action. Carter feeds Chinnor scrum. And picking and going is Byrne Manning, the most experienced player in Chinnor's ranks tonight, the blindside flanker.
Just stay there.
Well over 150 appearances for his club. And Chinnor playing out of their territory. And what's that down to, Ashley?
Nick Easter will probably disagree with me, but the Chinnor loose head is under pressure, trust me. James Baker has had a reputation over the last 20 years of being the tight head that no loose head wants to face, mainly because of his size and also his flexibility. He can do backward somersaults after games. He is very flexible, and if you're a big 6-foot loose head prop, that's not what you want to be facing necessarily.
Gold scrum when we come back, gents.
James Baker can do backflips after matches. Have you seen this, Alex?
Yeah, that's correct. I haven't seen it for a few months right now, but I do remember my first season here at Rams. Would have been 4 or 5 seasons ago. We had a pretty good win in the sun, and there's a video from sort of the posts in towards the clubhouse of him backwards somersaulting and cartwheeling, very much gymnastic-esque with a round off at the end. I've never been able to do that myself, so I was in a bit in awe.
That is fantastic. I knew he was a club legend, but not in gymnastics as well as rugby.
I think he trained as a gymnast earlier on, and also his father played prop, Brendan Baker, and he's passed on loads and loads of experience. And as I said, people are wary of when he plays. They know what's coming, and they're not necessarily happy with. They know what's coming. Mainly his shape and his flexibility, his size and his flexibility. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out as the game goes on.
We've lost Reece Marshall, Chinnor's hooker.
So this will be really interesting to see how a change in hooker, as you can see there, changes the way the scrum goes.
A man down, and with their hooker off the park, Rams make life very difficult for Chinnor.
So what probably happened there is, as the pressure came on, the loose head steps out to deflect the pressure, which then it goes round. So we sometimes get accused of being a big pack. We're not a big pack, but technically we're very good.
And Rams, again, now in striking distance once more, 5 metres from Chinnor's line. And this first half has been conducted at Rams's pace after a fast beginning from Chinnor, and then 3 tries consecutively from Rams. And Cole is working on a 4th for his team. The splinter is there, the breakaway 2. Cole leaves it for Everett, who drives for the line. Vince Everett goes close. Cole looks right. Misses out Baker, goes to Hayhow round the back. Partington steps in and then chips it over to the left. If this bounces nicely, Rams are in.
Fantastic finish if that's given.
Just before the line. A beauty of a finish.
I think if we can go to the TMO here, that would be lovely with how close that is to the dead ball area.
It's not been given yet. It has now.
Zach Clough on debut. Partington's vision here, superb for the debutants. And he watches it so well. There's our TMO. That's as good as any TMO can get. Right on the line.
No.
Before the line.
Thank you. If it's on the line, it's a dropout 22.
Will's quick feet here to avoid the tackle from, I think it's Kieran Goss coming up there. Really well to step on the inside and puts a lovely little nudge through for Zach to finish there. Very sort of NRL-esque, as you see sometimes down under in the rugby league.
That's a beauty. It's not a deep dead ball area at Rams by any stretch of the imagination, is it? It's about as tight as can be.
Alex, these are the kicks that kickers like, aren't they? Because no one expects you to get them.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, you normally do.
Partington working on his season's tally, but doesn't add to it there. Your season's tally, Alex. Do you know how many points you're on this season?
I'm not counting myself. I think it's 113, but
I had 108 down, according to the rugby paper, after last weekend. Not always correct, the rugby paper, though, so you may be on 113. 24-7. 2 Rams here at Old Bath Road this Friday night is going to script for the hosts. Bonus point in the bag, and
I think we had 16 on the pitch there.
That's certainly not allowed. Partington back onto the right and gets good distance on the ball. That takes play almost up to halfway.
I have to be honest and own up here that when we're about 30 points in front, I tend to relax when we're playing Chinnor, because we've had some very high-scoring games, 47-45s in the past. So 24-7 means nothing at the moment.
So you're not yet relaxing, Ashley. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that great take at the back of the line out. Brilliant one hand onto Carter. Hard line cut from Dean Hammond, former Worcester player, and Ealing, and now at Chinnor. Carried on by Willie Riley. Formidable carrier in this division is Willie Ryan. Carter chooses to go back left to the try scorer down.
probably a good thing there's no TMO, given a collision from Chinnor's 12 at the ruck previously there. It was direct head contact with James Baker at number 3, but obviously no TMOs here to catch that.
So Chinnor play on. Up to Rams' 10-metre line. That's going to come back on Rams' side and play on. So Partington goes long. Well-judged kick, but it's a penalty back on the 10-metre line. Well, Alex, a week ago in Darlington, you got off to a similarly good start up there. And how hard is it, just how hard is it to maintain your precision and your clinical edge when you've managed to score 4 tries already?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know, you often see when teams do go up by sort of 3, 4 tries, there is that maybe a little lapse in concentration, and you're not quite as sharp in your decision making and your movements. You know, not complacent, but you know, there is that maybe a little bit drop. You know, teams across your opposition also come back into it. So you do very much need to be on the money right throughout the game, as obviously last week happened with Darlington to come back. So.
Down with the ball for Chinnor, and then working his way forward slowly is Charlie Robinson. And Carter now to the backs.
Yeah, Chinnor on a free play here.
Penalty to the visitors. First time they've been in the 22 since their opening score of the match, which seems a long time ago now. And we'll have a break here. And Alex, let us into the changing room before a derby with Chinnor. What is it like?
Pretty lively, pretty bouncy. There's always a really good energy amongst the changing room. Some of the older, more established players in the squad very much have a few songs that we like to listen to make sure that we're always in the kind of zone for a game. Jack Roster really likes always starting off with a song called Zombie, and a bit of a superstition from him there, but yeah, there's always a good buzz in the changing room.
But no Zombie today then, if no Jack Rossiter. Sadly not with us, of course. He's at his brother's farewell do. He's going abroad, so long-standing commitment. Rossiter not able to play today. So no zombie? Or still zombie?
Not sure. Wasn't in the change room.
Wasn't in the change rooms. Good point. Actually, in the stands, we know you're going to be tense. What are the rest of the fans like? What's the conversations like?
Well, they probably don't put as much money in the club as I do, so they're maybe not quite as tense.
Not as much skin in the game.
No. I sort of like coming from 20 odd years in the Premiership. I only know one thing, which is a W, and so I get more drained now watching Rams play than when I was probably refereeing the Premiership, because it means so much more now. So I'm with them all 80 minutes. It's sort of like it's sort of not painful. It's hard work, and then so yeah, and then you see a player come off like Niall, who's like taken 2 years to get back, and it looks like he's that doesn't look good on his knee, ACL maybe.
Well, Niall Kidd.
So that was just as the maul went down, he got in a really bad position.
Limping off, having replaced at the last minute, really, Ant Maris. And Kidd, he's been lively as well around the edges of the rucks. Stalked the those murky areas for most of this first half hour. So a couple of injuries on both sides. Chinnor within 5 metres of Rams line now. As the half-hour knocks on National Rugby Live. Brought to you by NextGen15. And here we go with Chinnor. They pile in, including the backs, including Will Blackmore. Grant Hughes is in there. And Rams buckling under the pressure. Chinnor over the line. They'll have a second try. And it came through the bulk of the forwards.
Good shape by them, got us under pressure, backs joined in, and once you get those going forward, very hard to defend.
There's good ballast here. Just the number of kilos involved for Chinnor superior after adding in the extra bodies. And Alex, there's a reason we haven't asked you yet to comment on that try. We won't put you through the torment as a number 10, but the try scored by Charlie Robinson, unless you're that rare type of fly half that likes to join in.
No, absolutely not.
I can confirm that that is not Alex's form of rugby. He knows where he's very good at operating, and it isn't trying to stop driving mauls.
So Nick Smith, Chinnor's top point scorer, lines this conversion up and sets it off nicely, has the distance, and Chinnor reduced the deficit to 10. Courtesy of this score from Charlie Robinson. In the pre-match, Ashley, you described Alex as a Rolls Royce or a Maserati, one of the two.
When Alex plays 10, I think we play a bit like a Maserati. Pace and precision, and when he's not on the pitch, we're still very good. We're more of a Rolls Royce, sturdy and efficient, and just do the job.
Sounds like there's a compliment in there somewhere, Alex, but
it's definitely a compliment.
Depends what car you prefer.
It definitely is a compliment, trust me.
As long as a Maserati's coming my way, I'm absolutely happy with that.
There we go. Let's get the sponsorship deal done on National One Live. Here's the take from Henry Bird. Scored the match winner against Cambridge 2 weeks ago. Everett round the back to his fly half, and then to the returning Ellis Jones, who puts a good kick in behind.
Excellent kick from Ellis there off his left peg, and that
has Chinnor turning every which way.
Real good identification of space in the backfield there. You can see the fullback has really come up to pressurise as we've been attacking with the ball. Ellis has put it in behind really well off the boot. I'd like to say I taught him that, but he'll take that one.
And I think most 10s who are right-footed like to have a left-footed kicker outside them as well. Just takes the pressure off a bit, and Ellis has judged that perfectly.
Here's Robinson. Line out will be under pressure here. The challenge up from Ollie Taylor, but Chinnor hold firm. Robinson with the ball at the back. Carter with the box kick. Gets good distance on it, Luke Carter. But there's so much space here for Henry Bird to eye up, and he sets off field. Bird with numbers away to the right, and one of them is Calling Smith. Smith goes off on an excursion of his own, keeps the play alive, back on the inside to Jones. Rams fluent in attack, and here's Everett striding forward. 5 metres away, Cole. Partington flit round the back, beautiful from the fly half. Hayhoe goes over the top. Clough is racing after this, as is Ollie Taylor. But no dice, although the type of gamble that you want to be taking. It was a well...
I think they knew they had a free play.
It's a great identification of where the space was as well. And as we go on here, Rams continuing to play whilst our replay rolls. The action is still out there. Not where we are. The pace is high here. Now, 3 metres from the line, and Rams knocking on the door again. Not dwelling on missed opportunities in the past. Are they driving hard again? Cole waits for his forwards to soften up Chinnor's defensive line. Still with the likes of Collis. There they are on the line. There's the try.
It's James Baker, I think.
It doesn't get to the backs. Stapley is in there.
No, it's James, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is.
Baker underneath it all.
I think he enjoyed that.
Well, let's keep our eyes out for the gymnastics to follow. Maybe he'll wait to the end of the game, I guess. Good finish from the tight head. There he is, lurking around the bowl. Goal hanging, if anything. But Baker under the sticks for a 5th for Rams. Partington from in front of the sticks converts, and we're up to 30 points for Rams, but the difference of 16. So Ashley, you've got a while to go before you can sip your evening coffee back and feel comfortable about life.
I never feel comfortable, honestly. I never feel comfortable, because I know how we've come back in games. So if we can come back in games, other teams can. You know, rugby, well, a lot of sport, it's all about momentum. And if the team gets momentum, as we did against Cambridge, you can quickly, in rugby, rack up a lot of points quite quickly.
Cole puts it up. Chases from Calling Smith. Return, gain of ground is good, and Carter decides it's up to Down, who puts his head down. Big carry from the second row. Will Feeney onto his left foot, but it's going to stay in with Partington. And now it's Chinnor who have time to plot their way forward. Feeney, elegant kicker of the ball, is Chinnor's fly half. Will Feeney, coming this season from Australia. And that's an excellent gain of ground in the end for Chinnor. 3 minutes before half-time, and Chinnor looking to get a third score on the board, 31-14 at the moment. Old Bath Road has been swilling with fans from right after work, clocked off today. And plenty of action here on the pitch with youngsters at play, and now it is the seniors who are putting on a show. Big carry from Max Heyman, the top try scorer in the forwards this season is Heyman. Cole and Partington. They've been on the money together, the halfbacks so far tonight. This kick has gone infield. This might bounce well for Calling Smith. Keeps the ball in two hands, the right winger. Dusts off the first defender, beats a second. Here's Stapley, looking to keep the pace high with Max Heyman. Cole, Partington to the line with Bird. Well read by Max Heathman. The open side for Chinnor. Numbers lining up here for Rams. As often running is Ellis-Jones. Then on to Zach Clough. Clough gets there. He'll have a double. The new man in the side finishes off a beauty for Rams.
That is a hell of a finish from Zach there. I mean, set up absolutely beautifully from Ellis. You can see he's got on the outside of his defender, arm through the tackle, offloaded round the back, and Zach has finished that as any winger would really enjoy that finish there. So
that is really
class.
sweet. Look how Ellis gets his hands free and sets him away. Great finish. But he owes Ellis a drink, because it's Ellis who's got his arms free to do the offload. Just watch there. Just there. Brilliant.
Lovely pass from Will to get Ellis into that space. You know, as an attacker at 13, it's really nice to have a ball whipped and zipped in front of you like that to actually allow you to drift on the pass to get on the outside of the defender. So that's a lovely pass from Will to set that there.
He looks a hefty fellow, Zach Clough, as well. Have you had the privilege, the pleasure of having to tackle him in training yet, Alex?
Unfortunately, fortunately, I've been injured for a while, so the answer is no. But probably my return to play will have to.
He comes with a good pedigree. Cardiff Met, and then went up and played in for the North Welsh professional team. He's been down at London Scottish, been struggling to get game time because they have the arrangement with Harlequins. So he plays 1 week and then misses 3. What I liked about him is, like a lot of players who come to us, he came to us and he started playing in our Titans. They don't go straight into the first team, and he's done his time there and showed the coaches that he's worth a go. And so far tonight, in the first 40 minutes, he's proved his worth.
2 tries tonight for Clough, and here goes Hayhow. Taken well by Feeney. Feeney breaks through. Good balance from the fly half. Robinson.
What we need to do is make sure we don't concede before half-time.
We are in the red from our clock, not necessarily the same as the referee's clock, but more or less at the end of proceedings here in this half. Up to the 22 go Chinnor. Along to the blind side, Byrne Manning. He's hit well. Smith. Feeney taken. And there is Miller Mills, former Wasps man, in the tight head jersey for Chinnor. That's a good hit from Rams. Paul Engels-Zoss involved and into the action after coming off the bench. Dean Hammond into the fray.
Great steal there by Vinny.
That's really good, because he survived the clear out and stayed on the ball, and that's why he got the turnover.
He's got a reputation for doing that, hasn't he, Vince Everett?
That's half-time.
Well, 50 points in the half, 36 of them for Rams, and they have been playing superbly across the first 40. Rams leading Chinnor at half-time, 36 points to 14. And Alex, your reflections on that first half?
I think we've definitely got to be pleased with the way we came back after that early try by Chinnor. 36 points against Chinnor in the first half is a no easy feat, but a lot of the tries have been created through some really good attacking patience and composure by us. So yeah, very happy going into the break.
Well, let's track back through the tries here, and it started with the visitors and James Down's first score. And this was all Chinnor at the moment. It was a composed beginning from the visitors, wasn't it, actually?
Yeah, they went off the top of the line, as we said. They got to midfield and they finished that quite nicely. As what you'd expect of a team of their quality. You know, as I said before the game, they're no mugs.
And this was the dink through from Cole, taken by Ellis-Jones. Such great vision from the scrum half.
He did well to hold his feet and pick the ball up there.
This one Alex spoke about, as a 10, you don't want to see the defence in your eye line, which I think what happened there, and that it just unsettles you. I mean, what would you have done, Alex, if that had been you there?
Probably throwing the pass and be intercepted, but
Your honesty is endearing.
Ollie Cole's score coming up after Hayhow's drive. And there was so much
Good
space through
vision
the
there
middle.
because he saw the guards had stepped and he knew there was no one in behind, so that was really good.
So we'll catch up on some of the tries later, but right now Chris Heel is pitch side and we're going to get some reaction from the home team here.
Many thanks, Jack. I'm joined by Rams chairman Andy Lynch. Andy, when you were going to bed last night, could you have dreamt of that half-time scoreline?
36-14 with 40 minutes on the clock, no way. They're always high-scoring games against Chinnor, always good competitions, but we came out of the block so fast. They just couldn't live with us. Incredible. And I have to say, every time we get in their third, we look as though we're going to score. Amazing.
I mean, going back to last week against Darlington, it was a similar kind of story, wasn't it? You came absolutely flying out the blocks, built up that scoring, and tonight seems very similar.
Yeah, bonus point on the board after 18 minutes last week, and then one or two injuries, one or two silly penalties, and you know it can turn so quickly. You know, that's 22 points, 3 scores, and they're back in the game big time. And this Chinnor side are very capable of doing that. We've seen that before in games against them. Under lights, you know, this game, both teams will end up probably putting 4 or 5 tries on the board. It's going to change for 10 minutes in the second half. It's got to.
I like your very balanced view there, Andy, but you're absolutely right, because obviously it looked at one stage Rams were going to run away with it. But that second try from Chinnor just shows they are more than capable of mounting a comeback in this game.
Absolutely. They've got some old heads in that side, some guys that have been there and done it at a higher level, and they will know what they need to do to get back into this game. I just hope our boys can keep the energy levels going. One of the big differences for us this year is the fitness levels and the fact that we can actually do this for 80 minutes. And what you must remember as well is 2 or 3 of the guys out here tonight weren't expecting to be playing this week. So it shows the strength in the squad, and the way they've been sort of prepared by the strength and conditioning team has made a huge difference this year.
And just kind of finally on that, Andy, you mentioned kind of some of the boys have been thrown into the side, and I guess an occasion like this is one that they clearly relish in. I mean, just tell us a little about these Friday night games, Andy, because we were lucky enough to be with NextGen here last year, and it was a brilliant night, and you're just seeing so many people have turned out, and it's just a great advert for National League Rugby, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, National League Rugby in general is a great product. And National League One, I think, you can never really call any result. Yes, you can look at the form book, but every team in this league on their day is capable of beating everybody else. And you look around here tonight, I would guess there's probably 850, 900 people here tonight, if not a bit more. It's really good value for money, isn't it? £15 for a lot of entertaining rugby. They can get a beer, they can get a pasty or a burger or whatever. It's I think it's the way to go for rugby, particularly National League. Obviously, you've got the travel distances, which don't help. But Friday night games, to me, is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. And just one more question while I've got you, Andy. We were lucky enough to speak to you at the Roslyn Park game. I think our old host Warren was mentioning the value of National Rugby, but National One in particular, both ends of the table this year. You can't call it, can you? And you're looking at the top 4 at the moment, and we're in the middle of February, 8 games to go, still could go anywhere.
Absolutely, there's a long way to go for all. I guess probably top 4, maybe top 5, but you could not, or I would not, put money on who's going to be there at the end of the day. There's probably 3 teams who are likely to be in the mix. Hopefully, we're one of them, but I still wouldn't want to put money on it. It's a long way to go.
Very well said, Andy. Well, enjoy the second half, Andy. Thank you so much for your time. As we can see, as Andy just said there, Rams with a healthy lead, but Chinnor could still fight back in the second half. We'll wait and see. Joe, over to you, mate.
Joined by Alex on the touchline at the break, and I think his vocal cords are quite tired. Thankfully, his body is. Alex,
good.
What a stunning half of rugby to get us underway here at Old Bath Road.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Really good rugby by both teams, to be fair. Rams, I would say, leading the possession and territory stats at the moment, and we've been able to capitalise on a few relatively opportunistic tries so far. But yeah, as you say, very good half of rugby so far.
Yeah, but he didn't obviously start all that great for Rams. Obviously, the scoreline now in front of us reads 36 points to 14 in favour, but it was Chinnor that went ahead early. What do you think it was that kind of helped the sides rally after that quite, damning start when you look at how it was and how it could have potentially gone afterwards?
I think Chinnor came out of the block slightly quicker than we did. Rams did maybe in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, but took us a little while to settle into the game. But once we did, into our stride and really kind of implementing the game plan that we wanted to, we were able to come back and, as you say, score some pretty good tries out there, with that one from Zach on the end to finish in the corner.
Yeah, well, obviously that try is one of the ones we're going to talk about. But who out of your teammates has impressed you the most? Is it maybe Zach, given that it's his debut for the first team? Because obviously we said before in the pre-match, he's been in lightning hot form for the Titans, but to come in and do it for the first team, it's slightly different. Yeah,
I mean, I can't comment from experience, but from what I heard, wingers are on form scoring tries. That kind of leads into your next games that you're playing. So for Zach, it's really good for him to come in, have a couple of really good touches. He's had a couple of nice touches in the middle of the pitch on counter-attack, and allowed Birdie and Axel to get into the game. So I think that probably settled him into the game, and then allowed him to feel comfortable enough and confident enough to be able to take, I think it was 12 on in the corner there to score that.
It has been some startling stuff at times. Now, obviously, there's still another 40 to go, and we've seen the scoreline in this first half, and it seems like, we could see those sorts of points scored again. Obviously, 50 points in one half is astonishing. It's more than a point a minute, and that's kind of how we mark some of these things. But what do you feel like your teammates have to do in order to end up on the positive side of things?
I think, very cliche, I think the first score in the second half is really crucial. We know Chinnor will come back. We know they can play from deep. And we know they're not sort of afraid of throwing the ball around in their own third. So, the next 5-10 minutes are really crucial for us to stay in the game, keep the possession and territory stats, and if we can force them to play from areas that maybe they're not so comfortable with, we're in with a really good opportunity to put some more points on in the second half.
And obviously, especially with Chinnor at the minute, we've mentioned it before, they are a team that all of a sudden seem to be in good form. They obviously had a pretty torrid start to the season, but in the last month alone they picked up 3 wins, lost 1, and I believe, from what I've heard, quite frustrated with that loss. They're a dangerous outfit still.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You look at some of their back three. You've got Kieran Goss, who's one of the most elusive runners in the league. Dean Hammond has got huge amounts of experience playing higher level than National One. So they do, as you say, have some dangerous backs and some dangerous forwards to run. The likes of Willie Ryan, etc., who is a very powerful ball carrying forward. So yeah, they've definitely got the team to be able to come back. But hopefully we can put on a defensive show that Danny will be happy with and keep them out.
Yeah, now as the sides do start to come out, as they get ready for the second half, just quickly from me, of course you can catch the National League Rugby Review Show every Monday evening, and it's on YouTube, National League Rugby YouTube, and you can hear from myself and Chris as we kind of go through the latest in National League Rugby. This weekend is a big weekend of derbies. Now, obviously this is the game that starts it all off, and then afterwards you're going to hear as Worthing versus Dorking is the featured game, which is going to be a hell of a game in National 2 East. And then after that, you've got Cambridge playing Bishop Stortford, top of the table again. Cambridge may be in the chase, but then on top of that, you've got Preston Grasshoppers going on the road to Fylde for a Northwest derby that's going to be full of fire, and Old Redcliffians travel to Hinckley in National 2 West as they hope to carry on after their big win last weekend. Now, I think we're going to have to head over back to Jack now. Jack, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Alex, for those thoughts. It is Rams, top of the table Rams, who have made the running in the first 40 minutes with 6 tries to their name and playing with abandon despite wearing the crown as the top of the table club in National 1 at the moment. It's been something the club's been planning for, been hoping for a few seasons now, but here they are with half a season less than remaining, looking for promotion and doing all the right things in this game so far to try and bank another 5 league points. But they have a 40 minutes against Chinnor, against their closest rivals, Chinnor, to get through before they can be sure of those points. And what can Chinnor come up with in this second half? Luke Carter begins. It's a well-judged box kick from Chinnor's number 9. Gives possession back to Rams. And Cole switches play onto Swain. Cole again.
Take him back in.
Partington, he's deep behind the gain line. He goes high onto Nick Smith's head, the fullback for Chinnor. He takes a straight line and cuts back right. Big carry into Ollie Taylor. He gets his man down before the halfway line. Feeney off his left foot, looks for distance, and has he found that? And is that a 50-22? It will be.
Lovely kick into corner there from Will. Just to start that off, I think Will Partington unfortunately not kicking on the front foot. That just shows actually you want to kick on your own terms in a game, and unfortunately that has allowed Chinnor to be able to play where they want to play, and in the end put a lovely kick in from Will into the 22.
It's a lovely nudge, really nice nudge.
Yeah, perfect.
Charlie Robinson, a try scorer in the first half. Sorry, Ashley.
We need to stop this maul at source now.
They've shown their power twice from close range, Chinnor. It's been their primary attacking weapon, and Rams start to creak. But folds them towards the touchline. Carter might need the ball quickly. He lets his forwards regroup. He goes into touch. Rams.
That's a result for us.
Stifling Chinnor.
Good D.
Spin touch. No chance. Time's off as well. 5 knee straight in.
I think with the greatest respect to Will, whose mum loves him nearly as much as I do, I think you saw there with that kick that was a little bit aimless. Alex wouldn't have been doing that. You know, we're asking Will, who's a natural 15, to play 10, and Alex will tell you 10 is a really tricky position to play.
Yes, I agree.
But he does make it rather easy at times, which must annoy some people.
Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment, Ash. Thank you.
It's making punditry look easy as well, Ash. When you tee him up like that, though, you know he's not having to work very hard there. Chinnor ball.
Good response from them. They've disrupted us there.
It's actually accidental offside, technically.
Oh, he's looks like that's accidental offside by the signal.
Yeah, you make a good point, yeah, but he's put it into his own man, so you are correct. There's your mark, gents.
No, we lost it, rebounded forward, and then we regathered.
Early stages of the second half here at Old Bath Road.
Let's go, Anton. Let's go. Let's go.
Chinnor having begun the first half, the faster of the two, before Rams took complete control.
Chinnor will probably be looking to get the ball sort of in and out at the scrum here, I'd imagine, and use a nice targeted run through the middle, up through the centres to allow forwards to come around the corner.
So if you hold that mark there, Blue, if you just half a step off, so you've got a nice gap.
Certainly packed with strike runners. Chinnor, Kieran Goss on the right wing, Dean Hammond on the left wing. Dealt a blow before kickoff though with no Jason Worrell. He was ruled out, with Will Blackmore coming in his place. Worrell being the top try scorer this season at Chinnor. So they're lacking a little bit of firepower, as are Rams, with numerous injuries to their 23. And here come Chinnor, looping this over the top. Collected nicely by Goss. Looks to reset, and Chinnor support is good. 5 metres from Rams line.
Good pace.
Shaking off the first tackle, and Chinnor starting fast again with Willie Ryan.
Chinnor doing the opposite of what most teams there from a scrum would probably do. As I say, you'd probably look to set a target. They've gone out the back and to try and exploit the width on the pitch. And as you see there, Kieran Goss gone through the middle, played with some nice speed, and they've scored through the centre.
Just a really nice line though by Willie Ryan, and at pace.
What's that?
I think Danny Batty, the defence coach, will be slightly disappointed with the effort we made there. But he is a big ball-carrying lad.
Plenty of championship experience in those arms and legs as well of Willie Ryan over the years. He's done that to plenty of defensive lines before. And Chinnor make things 36 points to 21 early in the second half. Willie Ryan dragging Chinnor back into the derby. 15 points, still the difference though. They'll need a few more scores like that before Rams will really get worried. Although, Ashley, you're going to do the worrying for us here.
Well, I'd say next score is really important. We score, we go back with a bit of a comfort. They score and get a 7. All of a sudden, it's only a 2-score game at 36-28. So for me, the next score is pretty important. I think whether Alex agrees or disagrees if he was out playing.
Yes! No, completely agree. I said it at half-time. I think that first score is really quite important in a second half. You know, Chinnor have taken that, but now how can we react back and sort of remove that 7 points that they've just scored to get us back into the swing of the game, I think is really, really important.
Lost now 2.
Ball back in Chinnor's hands, however. They go deep, way back from where the ruck was. This is going cross-field and deep. And Birds has to watch it run out. Another 50-22. And they're dropping out of the sky with frequency.
Just timing on your run, all right?
I think we also spoke about momentum in the first half, and teams will get momentum that you just understand. And as a player, I think Alex would tell you, you just have to suck it up and think our time will come, you know. But it's another really good field position for Chinnor. Their tails are up at the moment.
Robinson's throw is long, too long for his teammates, and Max Heyman tidies for Rams. His Stapley, not the biggest number 8 in the league, but my goodness, he eats up the yards over the course of a season for Rams, and has done for many a season. There's Heyman.
That was an interesting tackle again, or not, as the case may be.
Fighting for the ground is James Baker. It's being held up by Chinnor here, and they'll get the ball back. Chinnor rising to the occasion in this derby.
Steady up, boys, steady up. Yeah, agreed.
Alex, what type of things would you like to see from Rams now when the momentum seems to be with their opponents? What types of plays and decisions would you like to see?
I think a little bit of structure and a little bit of shape when we get the opportunity to get the ball. You know, in the first half, obviously we were scoring points quite fluidly. We need to now be really, really careful in terms of the areas of the pitch that we're playing in, not overplay on our own third, and play the right areas and play with some shape and some structure to get back into this game and to sort of change that momentum, as Ash spoke about, back towards us.
Set!
Chinnor scrum under pressure, but Ryan Hadley peels away the number 8. Takes on the first tackler and another, and Partington is going backwards. But Chinnor dropped the ball on the next wave. Rams will have the scrum.
I think Willie Ryan maybe dislocated his finger. He's certainly done something to his finger there, Willie Ryan, when he ball carried.
Need the 8 for the scrum.
There wasn't much of Willie Ryan that the defenders were able to gather with that run. He was on the rampage again.
Yeah, guys who watch him, I just need you a little bit straight if I'm going to reward you, okay? 3, just make sure you keep that bind, all right?
You know, what I'd like to see, the same as sort of like what Alex said, is just get a bit of field position, get a good D set, get Chinnor to exit and get the ball back, and just stop that little bit of momentum that they've got at the moment. You know, the bench is getting all excited, you know, which is great to see. And they're probably thinking, we get the next score, they know that psychologically we start to just maybe rattle a bit. We get another score, 43-21, all of a sudden it's gone away from them again a bit. And as we said before the game, Chinnor are not a bad team. You know, you don't smash people in this league week in, week out. You just don't.
Now Gary Reynolds in his match notes, fearing that at some point Chinnor are going to come good and hoping that it's not tonight.
This side, 1.
They have been starting to make better headway in recent times, Chinnor.
And that's Baker just earned us another penalty there. Obviously Ian Key not happy with the shape of the loose head for Chinnor.
Partington to touch, and Rams ball.
Very smart then, thank you.
Heyman has his orders. To the back they go. Rising is Taylor. And then peeling off the back go Rams. Carry from Stapley. Then Everett. And Cole. Swain. Now up to Partington and co. Back to Hayhow. Getting through the carries tonight, Connor Hayhow. Partington. Quick line, but breaking the line goes Baker, and the speed from the tight head takes on the fullback. James Baker, he offloads to Ollie Cole. But have you ever seen a tight head breaking free like that?
I've never seen Bakes move so fast.
That is insane.
James Baker is taking the congratulations. And everyone around the ground barely knows that it was Ollie Cole that scored it. Baker.
I think that deserves a replay if we can get one of those. Watch the step on the outside of the 15.
I've got it, don't worry.
And then the composure to finish.
How can your legs give up on you like that?
From a penalty in your own 22 to be able to do that 60 metres up the pitch is pretty remarkable.
With the greatest respect to Duane van der Meer and England-Scotland last week, that is twice as good.
Easy for Partington, who's passed to Baker, set that play up, and Cole with a second try.
I've not seen a turn of pace from James like that in probably 6 years. I don't know where that's come from. Maybe Alex could throw some light on it.
I tried to do it last week and pulled my hamstring, so I'll pass it to Bakes more often.
He talked about his gymnastic ability, but he didn't say he was a track sprinter as well. That was astonishing from James Baker.
It's a really big defensive set for us now.
How we don't let Chinnor score straight from the kickoff.
How we deal with this line-out first and foremost, and how we deal with their attacking threats from here is going to be a really big play on the next sort of 5-10 minutes in the game.
It's fine, we'll play.
Good field position for the visitors. Chinnor to the back and then down, but not taking the ball with them. And Ollie Taylor to Everett.
Release Gold! Ball's in, leave it there, let it come.
Almost losing that
We
ball in
need a
contact.
good exit here from Ollie Cole.
It's in, he's fine. Leave it there.
Heyman.
Use!
Cole taking his time. The box kick will come. And this will come.
Great length on the kick from Ollie there.
Yep, scrum advantage.
Perfectly judged, and Rams will have it back. Vince Everett on the charge, offloads to his back row colleague Collis. Now Rams will play here with a disjointed defence to run at. Here's Bird up from fullback, loops it over to Zach Clough on 2 tries on his debut for Rams tonight, the left winger. Taylor.
Go back.
And you be forgiven for Chinnor keeping all their eyes on where James Baker is, the strike runner. Well, he's back to the day job for Baker. This is going to bounce around. Taken on the 22 by Rams.
Quite sure how Ellis got that.
Time is off. Man down there. And a man
I
down
think again there, with the greatest respect to Will, you saw a 15 playing at 10 where he wasn't quite sure. Didn't have any runners off him, maybe Alex.
3 goal too early on mine.
But you know, we'll take that, to be honest. We've gone from having a attacking line out for Chinnor
Jeff,
just outside our 22, and now we're back in their half.
Send him on. Yeah, send on goal, please.
Well, if you're talking about the Rams' DNA and how they want to play, is that try from James Baker, with the extraordinary element of it aside, the type of play that the Rams trying to do, playing themselves out of their half and then looking to strike like that? Maybe the faces are sometimes different, but is that the Rams' DNA?
Yeah, I think you can probably say that. You know, we work very hard during the week on our ball retention skills and our fluidity and in our attack and being able to offload when the opportunity is right. You know, it's been pretty evident tonight at times when we've been on the front foot and able to do that, how we've been able to play so well.
I think one of the other things, we like to have a really solid D, and then we try and play off our opposition's mistakes when we can. But it's a fair, I think Alex would agree that Seb sort of like, it's play what's in front of you.
No, definitely.
You know, just play what's in front of you, don't be too prescripted, which I think maybe the Premiership is. They go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, now we're kick it. You don't find that at level 3 because the players don't have the same fitness levels and don't have the same physicality. And it is very much Seb, is, you know, play what's in front of you. So if it's on, it's on. We go for it. But we still believe in doing the basics. Scrummage, line out, driving more.
Let's see what we can do with this one then, Ash.
Yeah, we're could have been with a little bit closer, but we'll see if we go from 15 out. We've had to change our style as we come up through the leagues, because what worked at level 5 doesn't work at level 3 all the time. It works occasionally, but not all the time.
Rams secure the ball.
Good setup.
18, leave the
Very
leg.
good setup. Keep it on. I'll get carried away now. Sorry.
The blue jerseys
Plenty of
gather
advantage.
round, and it's Chinnor who's splintering this time. Cole is there, but guiding forwards. Now he goes up to Hayhow. Drops it off to Partington, who jinks again and loops this over. It's going to be taken.
Yeah, he knew he had a free play.
We'll be putting this back into the corner to pressurise them all again. A couple of penalties in this area. Ref may be looking for a yellow card potentially if they give another couple of penalties.
He's having a word now.
I seem to be blowing a penalty, all right? Have a word, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Burn Manning given the orders to
But you're always here by the time.
keep Chinnor honest.
Okay, time's on.
Partington taps and goes to Hayhow.
I haven't put time on yet. You can't go, yeah, I've got to actually blow it. All right? Oh, yeah. And you're behind me as well, 10. Your 9 knows that. 10. Out on the 15. There's your mark, okay? Thanks. 8,
Stage
entry.
direction for Will Partington.
Yeah. Line.
Not. I think the coaching staff around us are pleased that
Time's
the
off.
referee said
Number 1.
I'll put time on there.
He's already off. 3, coming off.
Clive would have used, I think, coined the phrase teacup, thinking clearly under pressure. I think that was always
Gents,
the most stuff.
go, use the line. Use the line. Line.
Will thought,
Blue, let's step
obviously,
into it,
differently.
please. Time is on.
5 metres out go Rams, taken down by Swain. And they set again with Baker at the back.
Stay
Max
there,
Heyman
18.
as well.
Stay there. Static once, line.
Anchored into the middle of this. And a few more metres eaten up, and then they peel off.
Yeah, plenty of advantage.
Heyman close to the line. Here's Hayhow, who
Great
gets right up to the line,
Lost
but
forward.
knocking forward.
I think this could be a bin. This is a yellow, I think.
Just as we spoke a couple of minutes ago, pressure at them all.
Yeah,
Side
good call
entry.
by Alex. Just keep the pressure on, try and draw the yellow card.
Mark's in.
And that has
line
come.
out,
Is it
line out's
Burn
over.
Manning who's been given it?
4, entry.
No,
Use the
number
line again,
4,
goal.
James Down. Hefty slice of
Yeah, use the
Oxfordshire
line.
meat that is going to be sitting on the sideline. So Rams with a few kilos advantage here as they set again off Ollie Taylor.
Happy with the far side, Rich. Stay bound,
Cohesive
stay
beginning
bound.
from Rams, and now the peel comes right through the middle. Goes Heyman,
Lost forward.
losing it forward just as he went for the line.
I think Maxi just dropped that, yeah.
Cross forward. Goal line drop out. Okay. 12, change. 12 gold, change. 12, change.
So close for Max
Happy.
Heyman, and that, you feel,
he's off.
might have put the game
When you're
out
ready,
of
then
sight.
Agreed.
Interesting call from Chinnor here with the second row in the bin. They've taken their 12 off and brought to the pitch, so looking to sort of square up with 8 men in the forwards to counteract on those mauls in that scrum time.
Henry Bird's kick forward is being replied by Nick Smith, who gets up again.
Yeah, you're holding him in. That's fine. Hold in
Chinnor
front,
go
now,
long.
Gold. Now you're on. Yes,
50,
mate.
going for a 50-22 again.
Feeney's kick is well read by Calling Smith.
Off feet, then Gold.
And Rams will try and stretch Chinnor here.
Ollie Cole, we've got no scrum half. Ollie Cole's down injured.
Taken on by Collis.
Use!
Heyman. He will need a stand-in 9. Maybe Vince Everett will provide that here. Partington. Jones.
50-22 is on.
Let's kick that very deep, forcing Smith to turn. Chloe was heading after it.
Hold.
Excellent kick in reply from Smith. Partington back at fullback, his natural position. Keeps alive. Everett does well. The open side spins away. Chinnor hunting this ball on the floor. Heyman again. Fighting for the gain line, Max Heyman.
Use!
And Stapley now.
Release 8 gold.
We've still got no scrum half.
Ollie Cole is back there, is he not?
Plenty of advantage, one
But hobbling around behind that ruck.
I think we'll make a change straight away and get Ollie Allen on here.
Time's off, Jeff. Time's off. 9 clearly needs treatment.
So Ollie Cole will take a few minutes here to
9, you're going off.
see if he can shake this off.
No, I think sort of like when you've got a player as good as Ollie Allen on the bench, you know, and we've still got 8 games to go after this. You know, injuries at level 3 play a massive part for both teams, all teams in the league, because you don't have the depth of the squad. So if you've got someone who's pretty good on the bench, you're going to get them on straight away.
Jeff, is this guy going off or is he playing on? Let's play
A
on
fine
then.
performance tonight from Ollie Cole.
1. Offside. Made the tackle, never got to his feet.
Scored 2 tries, created another. And the man coming on had a pretty good game last weekend as well, didn't he? Ollie Allen,
Use the line then, gents. Use the line.
player of the match against Darlington Mowden Park.
On his 19th birthday.
Can he be that young? So Allen on.
15.
Taken well from Swain. And Rams could strike here again, denied moments earlier. But looking to rack up 50. Ellis Jones. Hit hard the outside centre. He's been good on his return from injury tonight, Jones.
Captain Reliable carries again.
And there's the new man, Ollie Allen. Connor Hayhow. And Rams brought on here by their supporters at Old Bath Road. There's width being put on things here. Canning Smith onto Clough.
Great offload.
Zach Clough offloads.
Great offload by Zach there with Maxi.
Max Heyman. He will get on the score sheets. Not in the manner he hoped moments earlier. Instead, on the wing.
I think just back to the score by Zach in the first half. Axel's pass right across the defence there, fizzing ball to Zach to get on the outside to allow him to get that offload. Really, really nice play.
Yeah, pretty much. So within 30 seconds.
It's great offload.
Just on my line then, 10.
Not bad for a lad who didn't start playing rugby until 5 years ago.
Free scoring hooker as well, 12th try of the season for Max Heyman.
He's very mobile. The one against Cambridge was special. Ripped the ball off the outside centre on the 22 and just sauntered in the corner.
The highlights of that match being replayed on a loop in the clubhouse before the match to get everyone in the mood. That was some victory, wasn't it, up in Cambridge?
All victories are nice, but that was special since they were second in the league.
Partington to the fore that day and on the mark to take matters to 50 after Heyman's try.
Yeah, 15, change.
So Ashley, we have to ask the question now. We're beyond the 30-point buffer. How are you feeling? You promised us you were going to relax.
I am a little bit more relaxed. I am a little bit more relaxed because, you know, I think we're playing quite well, and we've dealt with most of Chinnor's threats so far. But that's offside, and then immediately I get a little bit more nervous again.
And actually, I didn't do you accurately there, Ashley. It's only 29 points, the gap, so maybe a few more required.
Yeah, I must say what you really wanted there was a good exit, and we haven't. We put the pressure right back on ourselves. But you know, that's rugby at this sort of level. Any level, you make a mistake and you get punished.
Willie Ryan and Chinnor back into Rams half, still with a man down. James Down is the man that disappeared into the sin bin. What can Chinnor come up with as they look for a bonus point themselves, remember, for the 4th try? Rams holding firm.
Let's look to use it, 16, you're not going anywhere. You've got to stay there. 16, let's look to use
Robinson
it.
at the back. Has to peel off. Carter. That was Grant Hughes. Here comes Ryan, gets ahead of steam up quickly.
Not on the ball.
The Chinnor number 8. Nick Smith.
6.
But crossing spied by the referee.
Well, that now does give us an easy out. We just want to get the ball off the pitch,
15,
somewhere up near the 10-metre line out, go through the phases.
6. Here's Mark, gents, let's go.
I must say the Chinnor bench are a bit upset, but the 6 has gone 3 yards beyond the ball and taken out Vinnie Everett.
The Rams relieve the pressure. Still with 15 minutes to play here at Old Bath Road.
He's coming. 17. There's Mark. He's ready. Okay, gents, let's go.
Who do you think, number 2, Max?
So Max Heyman.
No, pick-up's good.
Goes to Alfie North, who palms it back. Still Rams with possession.
That was a bit untidy, wasn't it?
Blue 2, blue. Use. Scum advantage.
Bouncing around. It's going to be with Chinnor here.
Hold there, gents.
Carter. Ball knocked on again.
Two knock-ons. First by red, first by blue, then by gold. So there's scrum.
Not a bad position here for Chinnor to attack from. Ollie Allen
Just here, gents.
with this box kick, and it was
Let's be
a
ready,
good
then,
distance, a difficult one
Thank you.
for Kieran Goss to take cleanly.
Make sure that inside shoulder's out, please. Thank you. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Carter goes to the blind side with Goss, and Goss is herring after this. Right down the touchline goes the right winger. Coverage was good.
That was nice play by Chinnor. Nice play.
Using Goss's speed to force Rams under pressure, and
it's also quite smart. They're centred down, come down the blind side, make it Rams try and exit from there, as you see. Put the ball on the floor, makes it quite hard to exit from there. So fairly smart.
Gents, time off, time off. Number 4 is trying to get our attention.
Chinnor back up to 15 now. James Down returns.
Yellow cards back on.
Just at the right time for the visitors. Can they get a bonus point try here? Go home with a losing points.
Okay, gone back over.
Got good shape there.
Set tackle!
Spinning through. Rams bring things down a metre or so short. Then the next wave comes. Chinnor so close.
They'll be disappointed if they don't score here.
5 gold.
Rams set themselves. It does go over to the backs. Spun out wide here. Opportunity for Chinnor to run this one in. And striding forward is Josh Hodson. Chinnor with the losing bonus points to go back up the road.
Have a word with 5 blue. Just tell him to watch his tackles for us.
Finished well. Just too much for Will Partington to get across. We got a little bit narrow, didn't we, Alex, there?
Good exploit of the space out wide. I think Rams, we'd rather them score in the corner than through the middle there. Make the kick harder.
Pay attention, Alex Sears. Come on.
Sorry.
Don't play to your teammates who are trying to put you off.
I think Birdie wants me to mention something that I mentioned in the car on the way back last week, but that's not going to happen, Birdie. Henry came back with me from Darlington Mowden Park last week. I was his personal chauffeur.
He's a good player, Henry Bird, but personal chauffeur levels, that's pretty serious, Ash.
I don't go on the coach. I've spent enough time travelling on motorways. I'm up and back in the car on my own, and anyone who wants to come along. Henry wanted to get back early last week, so he came back with me, and it's always good to have a bit of company and talk. And it's even better when you win a game as well. Not so much fun when you lose. Coming home from Cinderford at Christmas wasn't much fun, I can tell you.
Yeah, I heard about that today over the pre-match. Cinderford getting the number over Rams.
We were well beaten. We were well beaten on the day.
Sale FC, the only other loss this season, is that right here? At Old Bath Road? No, at Sale.
No, here. We weren't clinical enough. 12 entries into the 22, only scored 4 tries. And they got into our 22 6 times and scored 5 tries. But we'll try and put that right when we go up to their place.
Yeah, set to be quite the encounter, that one, isn't it? Alex, is there any chance you'll be back with your prognosis and your injury?
I'm hoping so. Had a scan this morning, so hopefully I'll get the results back early next week, and it'll be on the better side of what we hoping so. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll be back as soon as I can.
How many weeks are you hoping for?
Only a couple, but yeah, we'll see.
And in terms of your reflections today, Alex, Will Partington and his back line, how have they been functioning? The score obviously tells a certain story. What's your take on it?
Yeah, no, I think we've all played pretty well. I think Connor Hayhoe's done a good job through the middle of directing traffic with some good lines. Ellis played particularly well, getting on the outside of 13's, a couple of nice kicks and some offloads, and Zach has done incredibly well, scoring a couple of tries and setting Maxi in the corner. So as a back 7 going into the week of review, I think we'd be very happy so far, but 9 minutes to go. Hopefully we can get a couple more scores.
Set.
60 metres of open side to play with for Chinnor. Willie Ryan
is strong, isn't he?
He's a big man, but taken that time well by Rams. The legs weren't allowed to pump too furiously. Here's Carter, and that's a good line from Morgan Ames, another one who's making his debut tonight for the club in the second row. Good tackle from Baker.
Leave it alone.
Or Stapley even. Slipping through the first tackle, but not through Ollie Allen's. This is Heathman. And the open side carries well. Carter. Feeney. Let's come back on, ripped to Rams' side, but penalty from centre field here.
Time's off. Tackle's complete, then your man's ripped it.
Well, we may as well have a bit of time. We might start it a bit early, but if we've got the time, why not? A short list, gentlemen, from your potential player of the match. Maybe two from you, Ash, and Alex, why don't you chuck two into the mix as well, and we'll whittle it down to one eventually.
Well, with the best will in the world, I'm not sure that I can give it to anyone from Chinnor at the moment, so I'll have to concentrate on Rams. So two to choose from. I thought Ollie Cole was sublime for 50 minutes.
Yeah, send him on, boys. Send him on.
But just for the one run, I think Baker would have to be up the top.
Gone early with Baker.
I think from my side, from Chinnor, Willie Ryan's played incredibly well, run very hard through the midfield, and has set some targets for Chinnor. I'd say definitely special mentions for Zach on debut. He's played very well on the left wing. I've been particularly impressed with Max, how he's played, how he's defended. Darts have been good. I'd say that they'd be my three. We'll narrow it down over the next sort of 7 or 8 minutes and get to one from there.
You were only given two to have, Alex, but there you go. Slipped a third in there.
I need to be impartial.
And one of them was from Chinnor, so fair enough.
Fantastic kick by Chinnor there. Absolutely on the money. Couldn't be any better. Fair play.
Again, 5 metres from the line. And Robinson on the money. On the man, but not on the money for the referee.
Tough call. It's like really only the first one of the game, I think. Can't remember many other not straights, can you? I think Chinnor feel a bit hard done by there. You know, looking at that with the camera we had, I think there's others have just been maybe as wonky, maybe, and he's played through it, and I thought he would have played through again, but from a Rams point of view, obviously I'm delighted. It's ended up being a scrum for us.
Good, thank you. Just half a step off the mark. He'll be half a step off, and that gives us a gap. Thank you. That's right, that'll be fine, I think.
It's a Rams ball. What's the play from here, Alex?
I think first and foremost, secure the scrum. Probably look to maybe get a bit of a right-hand shoulder up on the scrum. Get Robbie potentially off the back, or Connor coming off the scrum from 12 to set up a couple of phases to exit either. Or we get a penalty at the scrum and we can exit a little bit easier on our terms from there.
James Baker is a very wily, experienced operator at tight head, and loose head should feel no shame not getting the better of him at times.
Another scrum penalty. There haven't been that many in the game, but those that there have been on that loose head side for Chinnor.
Well, the interesting thing is on the very first scrum he penalised James Baker, and I didn't think it was the right call. I said that I felt the Chinnor loose head hinged, and since then he's tend to favour James Baker. I'd like to say I had some input on that, but I didn't because he couldn't hear me from 100 yards away. But he stood on the right side and he can sell the decision to the Chinnor coaching staff. He's not asking an AR to make a call from 60 yards away. He's on that side. He calls it as he sees it.
No, they're fine. They're absolutely fine.
Well, James Baker is off the park. Applause from the bench. And who knows, that last act may have just swayed our panel here in choosing the player of the match. Let's not give it away too early, but Baker on the sidelines getting a lot of pats on the back. But Rams back at it. And here's Allen. Can't get the box kick away. Everett has had a good game tonight, the open side. Been everywhere. In attack and defence. Allen. Box kick is well placed.
Great kick, good chase.
Goss. Hairs into contact, and there were 3 Rams waiting for him. Goodfellow on at scrum half for Chinnor.
Free play here for Chinnor, so they run it.
Taken to the line, and then the offload is good. Dancing feet from Feeney.
I would say advantage is over now. They're well over the gain line.
Heavy contact and well lined up again from Heyman. Chinnor having to really push the agenda. Charlie Robinson. Hit was from Collis.
Needs to be wider here.
Here's Ryan again. 3 Rams gather round to...
It's a penalty not rolling. Clear and obvious.
No, you're not going quick.
Yeah, you can't ask for the penalty and take it quick. Good try, but can't do that.
I love the penalty then. No, you can't ask the penalty and then take it quick. No.
He's led on the mark, so you can't go.
Greg Goodfellow, hold back. He's...
I would say players going down with cramp now. It's been sort of quite a quick game. Might not look quick on TV, but trust me, there's been quite a bit of hard work and running being done out there.
Well, it's time to confer. Who would be your collective man of the match, gentlemen?
Go on, Alex, you go first, because they're your teammates.
I don't think we can leave that 40 yard run in from James Baker. So I think it has to go to him. You know, played 76 minutes on the tight head, work rate through the roof, been all over the park, and then able to, you know, turn the speed, turn the 15 inside out, and then give the offload to Ollie Cole. It has to be him.
20 years from now, it'll be... I tell you the night I played against Chinnor, I got the ball just outside my own 22.
He doesn't need to exaggerate all that much.
No, he doesn't.
It's still a 45-metre try, whatever. But you're right, a few metres.
Yeah, he's already off. He's gone.
Chinnor back near the action again. Down, takes it. Can Rams resist?
I think we're going to struggle again here. They got the nudge on.
Chinnor piling in.
The backs are in.
Golden shirts.
This is really hard to stop, and they haven't.
Chinnor get a 5th, and nicely worked from the line out. Improved second half performance from the visitors, no doubt, but have been chasing the game for a while now. Charlie Robinson.
Their line kicking in the second half has been really good as well, actually. Some of their line kicks, they start off really well and they're finishing really well, kicking to touch. And that's allowed to get them in the right positions to put us under pressure.
Good fella. Takes aim and just pulls it somewhat. And here he is, the man of the moment. James Baker, our man of the match tonight. And rightly so.
He's a very unassuming man, I can assure you. And he doesn't seek the limelight. Like a lot of props, he likes to do his work in the dark arts area.
I look forward to seeing that gymnastic triple backflip into a handspring at the end. Some minutes remaining under the lights here at Old Bath Road.
Yes!
Rams have delivered a scintillating performance in this derby.
Okay, good 5.
Crowned with
bound on.
a wonder try set up by James Baker. That may take the headlines, but 50 points, 8 tries against their rivals Chinnor. And they're looking for more still. Rowan Grundy.
He's clear, he's clear. You're hooking him in, 20, you can move past him.
There is Allen. Lovely no-look pass to Partington from Heyman, and this has gone on to Clough, who's on a hat-trick. The debutant pops it back inside to Jones.
Yep.
Allen can't take it with him, and there's the knock-on. And
lovely little crossfield nudge there. Zach with a beautiful step on the inside. offloading is the sort of key theme, I'd say, from tonight. Lovely little offload to Ellis, but unfortunately just Ollie, a little bit behind him, dropped that there.
I'm relaxed now. Now I've relaxed.
Finally, Ash. We don't have to be so on edge now around you.
Okay, gents.
No, I think it's been a really good team performance. I think it takes two teams to make a good game of rugby. Chinnor, fair play to them. They've stuck at it, and they've shown how dangerous they can be if you give them chances. And I think Seb will be pleased that we've limited their chances because we, as I said, we know how dangerous they can be. And I think as a group, we'll be really happy because we've made 8 changes to a team, and we've beaten a good team on a Friday night under lights in front of a big crowd.
It's a cracking beginning to the weekend, and the highlights show the action being rounded up as well via our channels, so stay aware of that. But Chinnor still playing.
He's kicked really well in the second half, and that's another pretty good kick again, with not much of an angle.
Hey, let's go, come on!
Now Feeney, player who can play across the back line and settled on fly half for now at Chinnor. Robinson off the top, good fellow, and here is Willie Ryan.
Willie Ryan by any chance?
At speed.
Just for a change, Willie Ryan.
Good fellow, straightens the attack. Pick and go from Manning. And Chinnor knocking on the door of the 22.
Leave it! Tackler's got to be out of the way, I can't reward him.
And looking for their 6th try in the contest. Carter to Feeney. Rams defence being tested here. Structures being put under pressure when nothing's on the line in terms of this match. All the work is done. Can they hold firm whilst Chinnor go through Carter?
False there. Your man's holding it in 20.
Good fellow. Popped off nicely to North. Grant Hughes to Blackmore. Chipped in behind. Partington is there, and he just clubs it into touch. And there we go. Under the lights on Friday night. It is Rams night. A performance to savour in the history between these two teams. Rams hit 50 against Chinnor and take it 50 points to 31. The league leaders doing everything they can to stay in that position. And Alex and Ash, job done, but job done in style as well. I imagine that's very satisfying for the club.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, everyone likes when you get to knock 50 up, so very, very happy that we've been able to do that tonight, and especially happy given the rivalry with Chinnor that we've been able to do it tonight. So the boys should be very happy with that. I'm sure there'll be some pins dropped for where the boys are out this evening, sort of 1, 2 a.m. But no, very, very, very well played.
Really happy, really good team performance. Really pleased that we had 8 changes and it didn't really seem to affect us much. Obviously, it's well, we scored 50 and it gets us 5 points, extends our lead now at the top of the table, and it's the old classic cliche, one game at a time towards the end of the season. But we've put ourselves in a really good position, but there's still a lot of hard work to be done.
When you're the league leaders, there's the inevitable question about finishing in that position. And Alex, how much does that get talked about at the club, not on a day-to-day basis, but as an ambition perhaps for this season? Was it what you set out to achieve and want to achieve this season?
Honestly, we had one conversation in pre-season about it, and we as a collective senior squad took the decision that that's the last time, you know, that C word is going to be mentioned. And you know, we haven't talked about it. We've very much taken week by week, taken positives from each game, but we've also taken a lot of learnings from each game, build through those during the week into the following weeks, and very much, you know, as cliche as it does sound, very much taking it week by week. But now we've got, was it 8 games left now? Very much 8 steps for us to take, to learn, to get better, to keep improving. So very good position to be in, but still a lot of work to do.
Well, talked about pre-match and what goes on in the changing rooms. After a win like this, and before the pins are dropped at 1 and 2 a.m, what's the course for the evening now?
So I think, given both Stapley brothers are playing, there may be a punnet of Rocky Roads and banana bread in the changing room. Unfortunately, none of the Chinnor club are playing this evening. There's a bit of a tradition whereby certain members of the squad all sit and have a beer together after the changing room that we all bring. But yeah, there'll be some relatively sort of singful, joyful music in the change room, and those Rocky Roads and banana bread before the showers.
And who's the Chinnor club? You can out them here. It's a safe space.
Alex Sears, Jack Rossiter, James McRae, Ben Henderson, Sean McDonald-Roberts. Have I missed any?
That's it.
That's it. The Chinnor club, the 5 of them.
I didn't realise you'd be outing yourself within that, Alex.
Yes, he is part of the Chinnor club, yeah. No, it's sort of like, as you can tell, we're really happy, but Seb keeps everyone's feet on the ground. He'd be telling them now that's a good team performance, but there's still lots to work on, and I'd agree with him. I think the most pleasing thing that will be for the club is that we've brought in players who haven't played for a while, and we've still managed to beat a good Chinnor team by 19 points. And hopefully, people watching all around the world will have seen that level 3 rugby is pretty good rugby, and it's quite attractive.
Let's take a look at how attractive it is, and we've certainly enjoyed it here. This is the second half action. Started again with a try from Chinnor.
That was, to be fair, it's the start they wanted. They had to come out and score first. And Willie Ryan, as we can see there, as he did all game, he carries really hard, and that was a deserved try for them. And it gave them a little bit of confidence, I think. We said then the next score would be quite crucial, and what a score it was.
Here he is.
In slow motion as well. Slow it down, slow motion, please. Look at that. And then also just the ability to recognise the offload, because he wasn't going to get there. Selfless.
Ollie Cole had to make that catch as well. He didn't expect this, does he? The expression on Ollie Cole's face here. Had he dropped this, he'd never be forgiven.
James Baker is already a Rams legend. I don't know after that how much higher you can go as a Rams legend. But you can tell by the look on people's faces.
I spotted a few spaces on the wall for certain plaques and things like that. Perhaps a photo signed by James Baker. This was nice as well, though, wasn't it?
Good pass by Axel. Good offload by Zach. And Max, like most modern hookers, hanging around on the wing.
So here you get the full width of the play here. And Partington's pass. And Calling Smith, it's great skills from a right-sided winger making that pass to the left.
I think Axel's probably been one of our standout players this season so far. Took his form during pre-season, came in, and his strength in contact, his skill level is just absolutely top-notch at this level. So he's definitely a standout player for us at the moment.
And again, when he joined us from Brunel University, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
He joined us from Brunel University, spent time in the second team, the Titans. No one walks into the first team here, so whether there be a London Irish academy player or someone who's like Zach, who's come from London Scottish. It's a team. It's a 40-man squad, first and second team, and they learn their trade in the second team and prove to the coaches that they should be in the first team.
Well, let's go down pitch side now. We'll catch up with some reaction, firstly from the Chinnor camp, as Chris is speaking to Nick Easter.
Thanks very much, Jack. Yeah, Nick Easter is alongside me. Nick, over 80 points scored tonight, 31 from your side, who showed real guts, determination and spirit. What was your kind of assessment of the game?
Well, after we scored the first try, we were out of the game for the next 25 minutes, really, and we let them dictate. They got physical backs, and they got on top of us there, and, a limited game plan ekes penalties out, and, we weren't able to deal with it. And we showed good character in the second half, still left opportunities out there in the second half with a couple of not straight line-outs and knock-ons, but you've got to give credit to them that we were beaten by the better side, there's no doubt about that. It's just disappointing that outside of us scoring the first try, they were never really threatened on the scoreboard and under pressure, because that's when you really see the true mark of sides is when they're under pressure with the scoreboard in the second half, and we could never manage to pull ourselves back into the game.
The fact you do feel that sense of disappointment, Nick, does that just show how far Chinnor have come in the month that you've been really in charge of the club?
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's a standards reset, and that wasn't us. That wasn't us after 5 minutes. And look, give credit to the opposition. You know, they had a smart game plan and they executed it well. And we were all disciplined and allowed too many opportunities, and we didn't exit well. Our game management first half just gave them opportunities, and we overplayed, and I think just got caught in the headlights, you know, that intercept try and things like that. But we've got to take the learnings. You know, we play top of the league. You know, it's where we aspire to be, and you know, the important thing is we dust ourselves off, and hopefully there's not too many broken bodies, and you know, we look forward to next week, because we've had 2 rearranged games, this being one of them. You know, it's a pretty brutal run-in now. There's no real breaks for us. So how we manage the guys, you know, especially when, you know, they've got full-time jobs and they just come in Tuesday and Thursday, is important.
When we spoke before Christmas for our website, Nick, you mentioned about kind of one of the first things you wanted to see from your side was never giving up, forget what's happening on the scoreboard, keep playing, and I know you're disappointed, and you know it does hurt at the moment, but you must be really pleased with the character your side have shown since you've walked into the door.
Yeah, but I knew they had it in them, and I'm actually disappointed. Look, forget the first half. There's another, you know, there's a lot of rugby to go, and I said that to them at second half, and that we're better than what we showed, you know, with a few other choice words, obviously. But I'm actually most disappointed probably with the opportunities we left out in the second half. Now, I'm not saying we would have come back and got the result, but it could have been squeaky bum time for Rams, and you know, that's when you're a very good side and you're clinical and you take those opportunities like Rams are. That's why they're up there and we're not.
And just finally, Nick, you know, you've just been, you know, in the job really over a month now. Over a month since that first Roslyn Park game. How are you finding things? How are you finding National League Rugby, and what's next for this Chinnor side for the remainder of the season?
Well, well, certainly improve on that performance, and you know, that's what I've always been about. You know, the guys are enjoying themselves. You know, we've set a marker down in certain areas and disciplines about, you know, what we want to try and achieve. Sometimes you put under pressure like tonight and you don't quite make it, but it's also about having fun, because we are amateurs at the end of the day. In terms of myself, I absolutely love it, love the job. We've, you know, trimmed down the coaching team. It's just myself and Craig now, and got some of the players who had sort of taken a little bit of ownership there, but it was quite hard from the beginning of the season. And you know, it's a tough league. You know, we know it from last year when Coldie snuck through, and you know, showing what they can do in the championship as well. So you know, it's a great league to compete in.
Well, Nick, it's been a pleasure to have you in the National Leagues for this short period of time. Hopefully it continues for the rest of the season, and commiserations on tonight, but still stuff to build on for the rest of the year.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, pal.
Thanks, Nick.
Back into the action here. Now I'm back with Alex and Ash after their stint of commentary. Gents, I mean, obviously me and Alex, we talked at half time, and we were saying that obviously it was one of those, still a half of rugby to play, but Rams really did put Chinnor to the sword there.
Yeah, I think we did. You know, we should be very proud of the whole sort of 80-minute performance. You know, putting 50 points on Chinnor is no mean feat. You know, I think, as Ash mentioned it on commentary, definitely takes 2 teams. Chinnor played their part tonight in that spectacle. You know, they scoring 31 points. They played very well in their own right. Got some dangerous players. So, you know, all in all, I think it's just a very, very good game on a Friday night to set up the weekend, as we spoke about earlier, in terms of the derbies. So.
We have got, well, I'm just waiting for Rams as director of rugby, and that might be the last interview because I can't seem to find them on that match, so we don't want to eat up too much time.
That was something else. Is he a wing trapped in a prop's body? What's going on, Ash?
Well, no, he's a prop first and foremost.
Yeah,
his dad played prop for about 30 years and still is with the club now helping out. And he coaches James a lot. James is a very unassuming, quiet person, to be honest. And seeing him run like that, and then the smile on his face when he offloaded. I think the last time I saw that smile was when we got promoted from Nat 2 South into Nat 1. I honestly, I've not seen that turn of speed from him in 6-7 years of being back with the club. And the step as well, as Alex said. So just sort of like, you can hear on the commentary, I'm going, oh my God, you know, because I couldn't believe what I was watching. As I said, Van der Meer's try last week for England, Scotland against England was special, but that topped it comfortably. When you see a prop doing that, when he's been propping and doing all the hard work for 50, 60 minutes, that is something special. And I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again, because it'd be retiring, I should imagine, in 2 or 3 years' time, and it gets harder as you get older. I'd imagine there are people like Jeff Probyn and Gareth Chilcott thinking you are banned from the front row club. How dare you do that? You know.
No. And then to add to all that, 76-minute performance comes off, quite rightly gets a bit of applause from everyone on the sidelines and everyone that's here tonight at Old Bath Road. And he's probably going to be one to remember in his household, certainly. And I think you said a little bit earlier on, Ash, as the years go by, it will slowly become that was a try to further out.
20 years from now, trust me, I got the ball just 5 yards from our own line and thought, can I get over? But yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, very, very special. And as I said, against our local rivals, under lights, and maybe because it's on television. Maybe you should come and film us every week, and James will reproduce that. So yeah, I think for me, what is great is you guys are here as a big crowd. Everyone's been able to see level 3 played with 2 good teams, and I'm sorry I've got to mention it. World Rugby. How many high tackles did you see, and how many clear outs at rucks did you see? And yet you think you've got a problem with concussion at level 3? No, you haven't. Your problem's at level 1, World Rugby.
Okay, well, I believe Chris Heal's got a little bit more reaction over on the other side of the field. So we'll go to him and then we'll get it thrown back to us afterwards.
Thanks very much, guys. I am alongside man of the match, James Baker. James, wonderful display from Rams tonight. How do you kind of sum up that performance?
It's probably one of the best performances in the year so far. Under the big stage and the lights, you know, we play one of our best games of rugby.
And you mentioned there playing under lights. I mean, what's it like for you as a player, these Friday night games? You must relish it.
Oh, definitely. Like with the crowd and that, you don't kind of get the same atmosphere every game just because of the level, but it's the sort of games we live to play.
And then you're looking at like the last 2 weeks as well, James. You know, you beat Cambridge, you beat Darlington Mowden Park, and to back it up tonight, it's been a really good 3 weeks for you to take advantage of those 2 games in hand.
Yeah. I think we had a long break, and I think we're feeling a bit rusty because we had 2 weeks off, and coming and beating Cambridge, you know, it was a close game. You know, we were losing. Coming back just to catch the win, it was brilliant. And so we used that momentum to beat DMP away and also to get the win today, and we're just sort of building up our skills and getting better and better.
A well-awaited 45 seconds to a minute, James. You've got to talk for us that try, an unbelievable effort. I mean, what was going through your mind? Can you remember it? Is it just a bit of a blurred vision at the moment?
Bit of a blur. So they ran through, got the break, and I was just on his shoulder, and he saw me pass to me, and so I saw the space, and you run for it. So you go through that space, and there's more space in front of you, and all you're thinking is go, 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 go. And I think their fullback came to tackle me, and I was brought back the years when I was a younger lad playing sevens and made a little step. Probably didn't expect it, and got him a short arm, and I thought, oh God, he didn't tackle me. What do I do now? Go, 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 keep going. And getting near the try line, I was running out of gas and thought, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to make it. Looking left and right, saw nothing to my right. Looked to my left, saw Ollie Cole. He was going, Baker, Baker. So everyone said I shouldn't have passed it, I might have made it, but it's a team game, and what's better? I mean, not quite making it, dropping the ball, or if I got that pass and us scoring, that was the better option. So I passed to Ollie and got the try, and it looked quite spectacular, I think.
I don't think anyone here could have described that as well as you have, James. Brilliant, James. Congratulations on the win. Go and enjoy tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers, James. Over back to you, Joe.
Right, and we're back. Brilliant post-match interview there from James Baker, who was dancing back to the clubhouse over there.
Get the somersault. Yeah, we might get the somersaults. Yeah, you're right, Alex. We might. Right, hang on. We could. Is he going to do the somersaults, or is he going to talk to someone?
It would be a disappointing night if he didn't. Actually, after that performance, no, he's going to just go and have a natter. Now, obviously, we've praised him for that performance, and quite rightly so. But on the whole, for Rams as a club, that result goes a long way, especially with Cambridge playing Bishop Stortford tomorrow. It goes a long way to consolidating that top spot.
Yeah, no, I think every point is very, very crucial. Bonus point just makes that little bit of a difference. In certain games when we only get 4 points rather than 5, that could be the difference between a team jumping ahead of or leapfrogging the team above in there. So, to get 5 points from a game like this, given where we are in the season, given how close Cambridge and Sale are, it's very, very pleasing.
No, it is, and obviously we can't, not talk about Chinnor. Obviously, they took the lead in this match very, very early on and were very quickly sort of on the back foot again. Given what we've seen from them this season, and it has been a bit of a season of two halves given the introduction of Nick Easter, do you feel like they've turned a corner? I know it's difficult to say from the outside looking in, but obviously we did see them going from minute 1 to minute 80.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the core of it, they have a style of play that they like to, how they like to play the game. They're pretty physical up front, and then they like to throw the ball around in the backs and sort of mix up between backs and forwards into play. So, it's interesting to see the effect that Nick Easter's had with a few other boys that have come into the squad. So you can see there is that little bit of a change, that there is that little bit of a sort of pick up in performance. But for them to be where they are, I don't think is a reflection of actually kind of who they are and how good they are as a team. You see where they're playing tonight, when they actually play how they want to play on the front foot, they can run us ragged.
Yeah, of course. Now, sort of as the lights slowly start to go out here at Old Bath Road on a Friday night, Ash, just finally, this level, this league, this competition, it doesn't get much better than this, does it?
Well, I, for someone who operated in the Premiership for a long time, I call that sort of showbiz rugby, and I call this real rugby, where people just turn up, watch their own team. Players like Alex are combining jobs, training on a Tuesday and Thursday, travelling big distances, but enjoying their rugby. And I think the enjoyment is the key word. I know Chinnor won't be enjoyed to have lost, but Willie Ryan, if I was him, I'd be enjoyed with his performance tonight. He was outstanding for Chinnor, and I wonder how many games he's played in this season where they've lost, because with him in the team, he carries so heavily for them. He was outstanding. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm back where I started 57 years ago, down on that pitch down at the end, running touch from my dad. So I'm just really enjoying, and I enjoy seeing the boys doing well. And if you see how they react when they score tries and they win, we are what we would call a proper team, and there's 8 games to go, but we don't mention that word. We take each game as it comes. That's Seb's mantra. There'll be stuff to work on from this week. Danny, the defence coach, will be unhappy with some of the sets we carried out. And we keep trying to learn all the time and get better and better, and that's all we do. But we do look at Caldy and Matt Cairns and what they've done up there, and we aspire to what they've done, and try and mirror what they've done. And obviously the boys want to play at the highest level to challenge and test themselves.
Of course. Now, all that's really left to say is thank you so much for watching on the live stream tonight. Alex and Ash have obviously been fantastic. Jack Zorab in the booth as well has been brilliant. Thank you very much to NextGen for helping making all this happen, along with Talking Rugby Union and, of course, National League Rugby. Catch the National League Rugby review show on Monday night at around 6 p.m, all going well. The key game is Worthing versus Dorking, and there's plenty of other local clashes to really dig your teeth into and have a great time watching National League Rugby. I've been Joe Harvey, and thank you so much for joining us.
Introducing NextGenXV, the new home of school rugby.
Well, where does this come from?
Covering everything the school game has to offer in both the north and southern hemispheres.
Oh, the great tackle! It's not good enough. 1-2, skip a few and with the wheels.
Highlighting tomorrow's stars, NextGen15 will be bringing you live games and a regular update of all the news and in-depth views on the global game.
What's a kick?
Where did he come from? And how did that happen?
All your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGen15.